Hi everyone, Dr. Loharan here, and today I'm really excited to talk to you about this topic because it's one of the reasons why I created this channel. I wanted to create this channel because I know there is so much information out there for you to sift through about health and wellness, but I wanted to provide information that is verified by a doctor so that can save you some time. So today's topic is about food sensitivities. And as you can see, I am sitting in my kitchen. I'm not actually going to teach you how to cook anything. I just thought it would be a good way to shake up the background of my videos. And like I mentioned, saving you time. If you don't want to hear my personal connection to this topic, you can skip ahead in the timestamps below. But before we get into it, I just want to take a second to remind you to hit that like button and hit that subscribe button so that you don't miss out on any videos that I might come up with in the future. And if you find this content helpful, if you know somebody who might be suffering from a food allergy that they don't know about or a food sensitivity that they may not know about, please share this video with them so that maybe they too can improve their gut health and their overall well-being as well. Okay, let's get into it now. As I mentioned earlier, I do have a personal connection with this topic. As some of my friends who are watching might know, I do have a lifelong struggle with my digestion. I've struggled with constipation my entire life, and I guess to give you guys who don't know me an example, I do have a note in my phone that is called Poo Diaries. So this has been an ongoing thing for me my entire life. And it was really frustrating because growing up, I thought I was eating relatively healthy, and I would still struggle with constipation. And it was like, no matter how many vegetables I ate or how much water I drank, I would still leave the bathroom feeling defeated most mornings because I could not go. I saw many doctors too growing up, and their solution was for me to take Metamucil and increase my water intake because I must not be getting enough fiber. And so I did that for a while. I went through an entire bottle of Metamucil and saw no change in my digestion. So I quit. And the reason why is because I don't know if you've had Metamucil, but it's pretty much this orange flavored, sandy textured substance that you mix with water. And yeah, it was just not good. So I stopped taking it and I just carried on eating a healthy diet, which was mostly vegetables, meat, and low carb. And I stayed away from sugar, and one of my favorite snacks was yogurt and nuts. So that would be a lot of my meals, especially during my college days. I didn't learn about food sensitivities until chiropractic school though. And when I did, it completely changed my life. So what are these definitions? Well, let's start with a food allergy. A food allergy is something that is kind of an obvious reaction. It is an IgE, immune mediated reaction. So what that means is you eat something and that causes a complete rejection from your body. So you might break out in hives, you might start getting a rash all over your body, and you might start swelling and closing of the airways. A food sensitivity is also an immune-mediated response. It's just kind of low grade, and I'll get into the symptoms in a little bit, but the major difference is it also is an IgG-mediated response and not an IgE-mediated response. So some of the symptoms are you could get brain fog, you can get digestion issues, constipation, diarrhea, heartburn, a food baby after you eat. You might also get like a headache and some joint pain as well. So the symptoms are kind of all over the board. And it's kind of hard to diagnose because IgG mediated responses tend to, if you do even notice it, you won't notice it for a few days. According to the Autoimmune Institute, it's not even an official, food sensitivity is not even a official diagnosis yet. And I think that's because there is just, it's hard to test for, and there are just so many different symptoms that could sound like other diseases as well. The most common food sensitivities are gluten, casein, so that's dairy products, eggs, corn, soy, yeast, citrus, nightshades, so tomatoes, eggplants, peppers, legumes, nuts, and food additives, so things that are in processed foods, so artificial colors and preservatives as well. So how do you know if you have a food sensitivity? Well, the gold standard is an elimination diet. You can do a blood panel for IgG and food sensitivities, but it's still kind of up in the air at how accurate those tests are. So for now, the elimination diet is what most people will recommend first. And so how you do an elimination diet is basically you eliminate the foods that you think you might be sensitive to. So for me, I eliminated gluten and dairy, and you do this for 8 weeks, and you can eat other foods. So it's not like you have to eat, rice and crackers or whatever only. So you can eat all your other foods, and then after 8 weeks, you reintroduce the foods every 3 days. And after you reintroduce the food, you would ideally keep a log, keep a journal or something, and write down everything that you feel, write down your digestion, things that are happening in your digestion, and see if maybe you are sensitive to that food. For me, after a few weeks without gluten, my eczema cleared up. I used to get patches on my hands, and that went away within a few weeks. And my mental clarity was night and day difference. It was like, I didn't know I could be so sharp. I thought I was just tired all the time because of school, because of work, whatever. But it was really a reaction I was having to gluten. And my digestion is better. I'm definitely less bloated. I don't get the food babies as often. And it's still in the works though. But these two things alone, like having clear skin, being able to think straight, those are enough for me to continue to not have gluten. The other thing I wanted to mention is your digestion is a very slow system to change. It can take months for it to heal and respond the way that you want to. Also depends on the level of damage that's already been done to it by consuming these foods that you might be intolerant to or sensitive to. So it takes time, and it is a complete lifestyle change. Especially if you have friends who aren't on the same page as you with your dietary needs, or a partner that's not on the same page as you. It can be very difficult. And finding out that gluten is in a lot of foods that you now cannot consume, that is a hard thing to grapple with as well. But I am here to say you can do it. As a bread lover, I still love bread. And an ex-consumer, I am here to say that you can do it. And don't feel overwhelmed and feel like you have to do all of these things now. It is a slow progress, and there are always things you can improve in your diet to make you better. Okay, that's all I have for you today. I hope that this video was informative, and I hope it inspires you to look at the things that you're eating and see if that is changing how you're thinking, how you're sleeping, and how you're balancing your body. That's all I have for you today. I'll see you guys next time.